The year was 1955. A routine test flight was scheduled over the Atlantic, piloted by a highly respected Air Force officer. But, according to a bizarre set of records, that pilot vanished mid-flight, only to reappear 50 years later without a single day's aging. Tonight we dive deep into the time-warping mystery of Captain William Bill Mason, a man who seemed to defy the very nature of reality. Stay with me until the end, because we'll uncover the shocking evidence that's left even hardened skeptics baffled. And if you crave more reality-bending mysteries, subscribe now, because next Saturday we're investigating missing persons who all vanished at the same mile marker across different states in different decades. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Now, let's begin. Captain William Bill Mason was no rookie. Decorated for his service in the Korean War, he was known for exceptional skill and nerves of steel. On June 17, 1955, he took off from Dover Air Force Base for a classified flight test. This meant pushing a new jet prototype to dangerous altitudes. No passenger, no co-pilot, just Bill and his plane. Radar picked up an odd spike in altitude, followed by total radio silence. Fearing the worst, the Air Force sent out rescue teams. But there was no crash site, no debris, like Bill's entire jet had evaporated. With no leads, officials eventually labelled him missing in action. Despite hush-hush military inquiries and swirling conspiracy theories, the trail turned to dust. And that might have been the end of this story, had Captain Mason not resurfaced 5 decades later in a way nobody could explain. Let's jump forward to 2005. A sleepy, decommissioned airfield in Florida was about to make headlines. A security guard on early morning patrol reported an unexpected landing, a vintage fighter jet that taxied onto the runway. Initially, he assumed it was a collector's plane from a nearby air show. But the pilot climbed out wearing a 1950s Air Force uniform, visibly disoriented. When approached, the pilot claimed to be Captain William Mason, fresh off a test flight from Dover Air Force Base. He seemed perplexed by the modern jets around him. The guard, confused, alerted the authorities. Investigators arrived to find a man who matched 1955 military photos exactly. No additional wrinkles, no signs of aging. When handed a 2005 newspaper, Bill reportedly fainted. He insisted only a few hours had passed since his takeoff. Impossible by any logical standard. Leaked documents indicate Bill underwent a barrage of medical exams. Each test confirmed the same thing. Biologically, he was still 32 years old. His plane appeared to be in mint 1950s condition, fueled by a jet propellant long out of production. Even the flight logs dated back to 1955. Was this an elaborate military hoax? A time travel event? Some hush-hush experiment in suspended animation? The colonel in charge of Bill's debriefing recorded cryptic notes referencing anomalous flight paths and temporal rifts, but official channels clamped down almost immediately, classifying the case beyond top secret. One detail stands out. Bill offered up classified mission intel from 1955 that was never publicly disclosed. Unless he was the original pilot or had access to extremely restricted archives, there's no way he could have known those details. Skeptics insisted there had to be a trick, yet no one could replicate or disprove the evidence at hand. Before the story could blow up nationally, the Air Force announced the matter was resolved, providing no further explanation. Journalists probing the incident found themselves stonewalled. And while rumours swirled that Bill was quietly taken to a secret facility for study, no one could confirm his whereabouts. In the absence of answers, theories multiplied. Did Bill slip through a wormhole? Was this the result of experimental technology? Some even suggested an alien intervention, frozen in time and then returned. One rumoured note from Bill read, "Time is not what we think, they're trying to make me forget." But the paper trail for that note vanished, fueling suspicions of a cover-up. To this day, the truth remains tangled in redacted files and contradictory testimonies. If Captain Mason really did time travel, how and why did it happen? Or was it a masterclass in deception, orchestrated by forces with their own hidden agenda? Whether Bill Mason literally stepped through time or was part of a clandestine experiment, the evidence we have points to an event that defies our grasp of reality. Military test flights, vanishing pilots, wormhole theories, these sound like sci-fi, yet credible people swear by the facts they've witnessed. Will we ever know for sure what happened to Captain Mason? Or does the government's silence speak louder than any official statement could? For now, we're left with a question that crackles with possibility. Is time really as fixed as we think? Thank you for watching, and to be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because next Saturday we'll shine a spotlight on missing persons who all vanished at the same mile marker across different states in different decades. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the past isn't done with us, even if we think we've moved on.